Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a quick video on 2023 predictions. I've done a couple of channelings and also did a Read the Future night with Jean Mayall, one of my teachers. I'm going to pull together a few things from that and try to make it more concise. Oh, there's my box. And these are some presents for my son. So sorry about that. Anyway, the first thing I saw when I did Jean's Read the Future night was a huge donkey, and it's like this donkey represents our democracy, and it's massive. And he is braying and he's bucking and he's shaking off anything that doesn't serve him. So it's like there's little parasites and people hanging on to his hair and his skin, and they've kind of dug in for a long time. And I feel like this is the media um, and a lot of the political system that treat us like we're in fourth grade or seventh grade, depending on the channel, and the politics, right? So they really treat us like children, and they've fed us inaccurate information, let's say it that way. So, we are releasing and detaching from all of that. And they're like parasites, so kind of like bloodsuckers. So I know that sounds attractive, doesn't it? So just notice that this is going to be falling away. So life as we know it is going to change. There's going to be some revelations this year that'll come to pass. And we're going to see that for what it was because I saw them just kind of go splat on the floor, these parasites. And we're going to look at that with awareness and realize that um, not just we were deceived, but we let ourselves be deceived. So we kind of fell for it, didn't we? We didn't know any differently. And that's okay. That's where our awareness was. But now we're at a different state. We are ascending and we know that things are different. Let's see. The other thing that I'm feeling is there's something coming up. There's a situation that will arise, and it has to do with a crowd. So there's a crowd that comes. Sorry, I'm getting psychic visions, so my nose is running. Anyway, there is a crowd, and there's a fight in a crowd. There's a clash. So something happens that is violent. So this is for entertainment purposes only. And this is just the vision that I had, intuitive vision. And there's a clash in a crowd, and it has something to do, it's a public space. So people are coming together to celebrate something, and this clash happens. Um, and it's somewhere around the new year. So I don't know if it's New Year's Eve or just right after it. And hopefully that doesn't come to pass. And for a few months now, I've been seeing somebody um, doing something in a hotel room too, putting together a long range rifle. So I think that this is more international, but I'm not sure. But I see something where, again, there's a crowd of people and they're firing into the crowd. Okay, so that's no fun. Um, uh, Also, there's going to be severe cold and wind. It's going to be very quiet. So that might be what we have right now because I did these last week. Clashes in Congress. Someone is indicted. And I see a new power source being discovered. I know that we just had one recently, but we are on a frontier, a renaissance of science and health and awareness. So it's a very exciting time. It's a very chaotic time, but it's also a very exciting time to be alive. And There's going to be new power sources, new science, CRISPR knowledge. It's just going to be so much coming together on the planet. Okay, and something about a star exploding. So something's going to happen with that star. In February, I see a world leader becoming ill. Grain stores are low, distribution problems in the EU. It's very cold, many severe storms across the world. People are walking against the wind. So we'll see pictures of somebody walking against the wind. Water problems about around the world too. Too little and too much water. So I want everybody to be aware that this is obviously for entertainment purposes only, but also that as we create our narrative and we create our world, these are just possibilities. So go with a high vibration, have love in your heart, and be thankful for already knowing that what we have is the best. Okay. In March 2023, there's an explosion of energy somewhere, and the new power source is activated. So they're moving faster than they thought they would. We receive new information from the stars, so that might have something to do with our galactic friends and this new power source. And Putin is put in checkmate. He feels trapped and can't easily breathe or move. April 2023. Big fat lies are found out. Indictments are coming in fast. Liar, liar, who's the biggest one of all? Trump and his cabinet are in trouble. Let's see. Oh, planting new crops based on permaculture and indigenous growing methods also. An abundance of plants in vertical greenhouses. And then I also hear raindrops keep falling on my head. We are finding new sources of water. So this is something that we're going to be needing, aren't we? As water continues to be a problem because we're growing grass in our yard where it's not supposed to be because it's not indigenous to the planet or that part of the planet, and we're putting all this chemical on it. And that's not even the beginning of what's going on, right? With agriculture, growing corn and wheat where it doesn't need to be, and overwatering because of that. So once we get into this indigenous growing methods, it's going to be much more beneficial to us. Also, I see that there are vast reserves of fresh water underground that we're not aware of yet. And this has something to do with the earth chakras. And the earth chakras are also going to be opening up. So there's going to be a new one in Africa. I think right now there's 2 that we know of in Africa. And these earth chakras are vortexes of energy. And a lot of times where we find these vortexes of energy, there are not just water sources there underground, but also there are beautiful monuments to spirituality, like the pyramids or Stonehenge, or a beautiful mountain. Oh, I'm not going to pronounce this right. Mount Pichu Uchu. I can't remember. Anyway, so when all this happens, when all this breaks out, I see these women in Africa and they're dancing, and they have on the grass skirts. They're indigenous, they're shamans, and they have the grass skirts on, and they have that on their armbands too. And they kind of shake to the circadian rhythm of the earth. They have the vibration of the earth, and they're bringing it forward with their song and their dance. So something about the vibration of the earth, and I think the vibration of the earth as we ascend is also changing. I follow the ley lines, and we do a lot of ley line meditations on my channel. So as the ley lines change and strengthen and the magnetic portion gets bigger, you'll look for volcanic eruptions, not just that, or earthquakes. There'll be changes on the planet, but also there'll be changes in the way that we treat the planet and the way the planet treats us. So we will have revelations. Um, and May, I see a tsunami in the east, and I've been seeing this for a long time. So we have warning systems there. And speaking we as a collective. So double check these warning systems if you live in these areas, and make sure that your tsunami warnings are current, and make sure that you know how to get out of there. And if you're traveling there, I mean, don't live in fear, but just be aware of it. And also, um, just be aware. Always just be aware. That's perfect, isn't it? That's all we need to do. Um, so there's also dry land in the fields, and there is an explosion at a manufacturing plant in May. So the sirens sound, but it's very, very fast. In June, I see black rot in the fields, flooding in the east, too much, too little water across the world. Gaia says work together. So once we start working together, things will change. Across the world, we hold hands and sing. Ukraine is triumphant and sad. Times will be better. The world will never forget this. Oh, bless them. Ukraine, they're just exhausted, aren't they? But they have hearts of gold. I mean, their power, their strength is phenomenal. And everybody is going to come behind them. It's just a watershed moment for the collective. Um, and then I hear this. I don't know if you guys remember, I'm a new man, Charlie Brown. So something is disclosed about the T's, 45's family in Saudi Arabia. We see him differently. It'll be a turning point for a lot of his followers, and it'll be a turning point for a lot of media, and the way we look at media and the way they treat us. So in July, something is lost at sea. There's a freak current or wave. Um, Sunflowers are everywhere. Ukraine is shining. The ground is caked and cracked. Drought. There's a fissure in the news. And so again, I'm seeing these fissures open up, and the earth opens up in places where it didn't before. And this a lot has to do with the ley lines, the magnetic activity, and the vortex as they proceed and become bigger and more plentiful. So in July, something is lost at sea. There's a freak current or wave. Oh, okay. Already did that one. Storms and severe heat. Then in August, there's a major hurricane is hitting Florida coast to coast. Texas has a hurricane event. Abbott is insufficient. People are running down the mountains. Fire on the mountains, lightning in the winds. I don't think I mentioned this, but another thing that I've been seeing is that black rot or black mold coming from Florida and Texas. So part of this has to do with the governors and the politics that are going on and the energy that surrounds that. And there's this darkness, like a black rot on the hearts. So it's all energy, isn't it? And like my hand is not really solid. You know, if you look through it, you'll know that it's just energy in motion. And this is what we perceive here. So when we perceive hate and not standing together as a collective and not being loving to each other, and taking away people's rights to love who they want to love and how they want to love, um, and also taking away people's rights use their body the way they want to. And, for trans kids, for children, being hard to children, and shipping people to other cities because they don't want them there. I mean, just trying to teach a lesson to people, right? Because they're from a different nation. But we're all in this together. So I know there's lots of politics involved there, and it's easy for me to say that, but there has to be an intention behind this energy, and an intention that I'm right and you're wrong is not the right intention, is it? So, um, yeah, that judgment. September, bad wheat crops in the Midwest. Um, and let's see. Okay. Also, Moms Unite across the USA for their kiddos, the LGBTIQQ kids. So I don't know if I got that right, but we're not going to take this. That's the song I hear. So moms are going to unite. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, God forbid what happened to Ted Cruz's child or any of our children. But, when our young ones start hurting themselves, the mama bears come out. And many sages have said that this will come from the women of the United States, this big change. And don't mess with our kids, man. Um, the way a species um, proceeds through the planet or through the timeline is often based on the mamas. So the mama bear and the protection of the children, of their offspring. There is that beautiful cord that goes from our heart to their heart. And it is that connection, and we won't tolerate it, just like Gaia won't tolerate it. So, okay, there's new land formed by a significant volcano. Also, Biden is working too hard. He needs time off for his health. Kamala steps in. October 2023. There's a huge sigh of relief for some, despair for others. Truths come out about the world leaders and the uber rich. And then I hear that song, money, 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 money. So there's something comes out, and we are going to recognize our awareness will change. I mean, that is something that followed through on this. And then in November, water shortages. We must work with what we have. And then I hear we made it. So lots of changes, lots of troubles this year, lots of awakenings this year, some chaos. And then I hear run, run, run away. There's a runaway train. So this could be a metaphor I'm getting, but it could also be some sort of a vehicle, which a vehicle in visions or in dreams can also be like a corporation, a large corporation, or even like the stock market. There is something is just running away. And then in December, there's a new sheriff in town, and it's we the people. I like that, don't you? And galactic visitors become more common in private settings, not in public perhaps yet. And then we walk around and wonder that we've made it. This has been a remarkable time in history. So let me just say that through all this, keep your vibration high by letting go of judgment, especially judgment of ourselves and where we're at and where others are at. And recognize that we're all one, and lead your heart with love. That's the best way to keep your energy high, and the best way to change the frequency of what you create around you. So with your environment, keep your environment clean. Listening to the media, listening to politics. Just know enough to keep yourself informed. But when you do watch it, don't get attached to it. See it for what it is and be cognizant. Know what we need to do, but don't live in fear of it. Don't live in anger of it. Move forward to get things changed because we love each other. All right, everybody. That's it. 2023. Those are my ideas of what might happen. Those are the possibilities. And thank you very much. I'm sorry about the box from Christmas, but it's there, so I'm going to work with it. All right, everybody. Namaste. Happy New Year and happy holidays.